Imagine walking alone in a silent forest and realizing the forest is watching you. Not the animals, not the wind, something older, something awake. The story begins with a young man named Dara, who returned to his village after many years away. The village was surrounded by deep woods that people feared. The old ones used to say the forest had a spirit. And not a friendly one, but Dara never believed in such tales. He was modern, educated, and not afraid of things he couldn't see. On the night he arrived, he noticed something strange. The village was too quiet, no children playing, no adults outside. Every door was closed, every curtain drawn. Dara walked to his grandmother's house and found her sitting by a dim oil lamp, whispering prayers. She looked at him with wide, frightened eyes. "You should not have come tonight," she said. Dara laughed it off. "Come on, Grandma, it's just a forest," but she grabbed his hand, fear shaking her voice. "You don't understand. The woods are angry tonight." Dara shook his head and went to bed, thinking it was just old superstition. But as midnight fell, he heard it, a slow, distant knocking. Not on the door, not on the wall, it was coming from the trees outside, like something knocking on the trunks one by one, getting closer. Talk, talk, talk. Dara sat up. No human could make that sound at that distance, perfectly spaced apart, echoing across the forest as if the trees were speaking to each other. He went to the window and looked outside. The night air was cold and unnaturally still. The forest stood in complete darkness, except for one glowing blue light moving between the trees, slowly approaching the village. Dara blinked. Was he imagining it? Then he saw it clearly. A tall figure made entirely of twisted wood and vines, with dim blue fire burning in its eyes and antlers. It didn't walk, it glided, as if the earth itself pulled it forward. Dara stumbled backward. Then it spoke, not with a mouth, but in his mind. "The forest remembers you." Dara froze. His breathing stopped. The spirit paused at the edge of the village. The houses shook, dogs whimpered and crawled under beds. Even the wind refused to move. Dara's grandmother burst into his room, terrified. "You must not speak to it, you must not answer. If you answer, it will take you." But Dara was stubborn. He swallowed his fear and stepped outside. His grandmother screamed his name, but he ignored her. He faced the spirit. "What do you want?" The spirit turned its burning eyes on him. The ground under Dara's feet pulsed like a heartbeat. "You left the forest. But the forest has not left you." Suddenly, Dara's mind filled with images. A younger version of himself, playing in the woods as a child, running, laughing, until he discovered something he was never meant to find, a large, ancient stone covered in runic carvings. He had touched the carvings, and something had awoken, but as a child, he didn't understand. He thought it was nothing and left the village soon after. But the spirit never forgot. The vision faded. Dara stumbled backward, shaking. The spirit continued. A promise was broken, and now a debt must be paid. Dara tried to speak, but his voice failed him. Then the trees behind the spirit began to move. Not from wine, they moved like they were alive. Branches twisted like arms, roots lifted from the soil, and dozens of hollow, wooden faces stared out. Dara's heart pounded. His grandmother dragged him back into the house and slammed the door. "You didn't listen," she whispered, crying. "Now it knows you're here." Dara sat in shock as the knocking sound spread across the village again. Talk, 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 each knock louder. Closer, coming from every direction at once. Then, everything suddenly stopped. Silence, no sound, no movement. No chirping insects, nothing. Dara looked out the window and saw the spirit staring directly at the house. Then, in the same cold voice, it whispered into his mind, "Tomorrow. You enter the forest." The spirit turned and vanished into the trees, taking the silence with it. Dara's grandmother dropped to her knees. "You cannot run," she said. "Now you must face what you awakened." Dara sat in the darkness, shaking, realizing he had only one night left before he would have to go into the deep woods and confront whatever ancient power he disturbed long ago. To survive, he would need to uncover the truth of his childhood, the forgotten ritual, and the binding contract he never knew he made. This is where the real nightmare begins, to be continued. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more chilling tales. See you next time.